Hello and welcome to Intervals of Thirds, learning to read notes through intervals with Gene Petty. And as you see, we have a couple of thirds thrown up on the screen. And let me just explain that at this point, things might seem a little bit arduous, like you're not really learning songs and a bunch of 2-minute exercises everywhere. And at least you say I should be learning how to read Mary Had a Little Lamb by now. But keep in mind that we're not focusing on reading notes for songs. We're trying to read notes for guitar in general. You can learn any kind of nursery songs from numerous books that are out there on plenty of guitar methods that have Twinkle Little Star and Mary Had a Little Lamb and London Bridges, and they're all out there. You can pick them up for a couple bucks at a music store. But we're working on a different approach here. We're getting you to understand the building blocks of music and musical notes and how the notes relate to each other. So, let me explain that thirds in general are easy to spot. Notice the lines and the spaces. You can see that the A to the C there, the A is on a line on the bottom. Then there's a space, and then there's another line, and that's C. That's the third. Now, in the next one, we have B on the bottom note, which is a space, and then a line and a space. So, in the first case, it's line to line. The second one is space to space. And we jump up to E on the third configuration there. The third, I made a little pun there, I didn't realize it. The third has E and G, and now we're going to count from there. The bottom line, 1, space, 2, the next line, 3. So you could just catch this in one slight vision, line to line, space to space. The last one is G to B, and these are all thirds. Now, again, you count line, space, line, or space, line, space, whatever you're starting from as the bottom, and it's numerically 1, 2, and 3. You always count the bottom note as 1. As you see here, A to C shows the 1, 2, 3. The 2 is the B line, A, B, C. What would the 2 be in the second configuration? The notes are G and B. What would that 2 be there? That space between G and B. Come on. The answer's there right on the left. Yep, it's A. So, little sharps and flats review first, before we go any further. Do you remember what sharps and flats do? Sharps raise the note, and flats lower the note 1 fret at a time. So, if we have an E flat, it's 1 fret lower than E. If we have an E sharp, it's 1 fret higher than E. E flat, E sharp. Tell me now, what's between E flat and E sharp? The answer's on the right there. 5th fret, E. Yes, it could be open E, but in this case it's visually more demonstrative. You can see E flat, the lower note. E is higher than E flat, and E sharp, the highest of the others. And of course, as the notes go down in this picture, the sound goes up. The pitch of the note goes up. Now, major and minor thirds, we can change the quality of any interval. Thirds, sixths, seconds, and sevenths can all be major or minor. With these intervals come changes of 1 fret that makes a big difference. If we take a C to an E, we have a major third. If we make the E flat by lowering 1 fret from E, we get an interval called a minor third. So C to E flat is a minor third. C to E is a major third. When we play a C chord, the bass notes of the C chord are C, E, and G. That makes a major chord, a C major chord. When we play a C minor chord, The notes are C, E flat, and G. The use of the minor third will determine what kind of chord you're playing. Now, the major third configuration on guitar is important to know. They often lie diagonally on the adjacent string. So let me show you with G and B, built on a whole step, G to A, plus another whole step, A to B. We can see it here. G plus A is a whole step, a major second. A plus B, a whole step, major second. So whole step equals major third. And here we have low G, low G on the space, then there's a line, and then a space where B is, below the top ledger line. So we count 1, 2, 3. Space, line, space. And you could just see this in one glance. You should be able to recognize, oh, that's a third. So now we're going to look at that diagonal. And get your guitar now and play the low G with your third finger. Or your second finger. Third or second, doesn't matter. Now play that diagonal, and you got the B. Listen to the sound. A major third. Okay, there's the sound of a major third. Now, it works differently on the G to B strings. It's not going to be a diagonal. It's going to be, you put your fingers flat and get a major third. Octave higher, G, B. Open strings. Now, so that means that each time I flatten my finger on the next fret, these are all major thirds. I'm just going up one fret at a time, and now the open strings. Major third. So, for 1 minute, we're going to play the first configuration with the diagonal, up and down the strings, E, A, D, and B. Okay? So, E, we take the first fret, and the open string A. There's our first major third. Now we'll move it up, major third. Just keep moving it up, get that diagonal, go up to the 5th fret, try it on the next string, move it up, get used to that major third configuration, that diagonal. Now I come to the G string, you can do it flat, just like, but this would be exercise, the second part of the exercise. Moving up one fret, major third, major third. Say to yourself, major third, major third. Now we're going to do it on the B string, so we have to go back to that diagonal again. Major third, major third. That's the sound. Like a doorbell. Well, in the old days they had doorbells like that. So practice those major thirds, and we'll take a look at minor thirds now. Minor thirds have a characteristically sad sound when included in chords. They also have a primitive sound that is familiar to children when they are goading and jeering each other. Okay, that's the sound of a minor third. Okay, those are minor thirds. If we start on G, one whole step, let's go down, low G, and we add an A, that's the whole step, and then a half step. There's your half step. Here's your whole step, half step, and from the G to the next note makes a minor third. Whole step, okay, whole step, half step, makes a minor third. Okay, we're back on the upper octave here. We start on the G, one whole step would be to A, and then a minor half step. Okay. Whole step plus half step equals minor third. Getting a little repetitive here. Now, can we figure that another way? Sure. And that's what's going to be coming up here now. But first, let's transpose the minor third up a half step. So see, I now have the G sharp to B, first fret, and then the B string. Now, it's also known as A flat or C flat. And the previous tab indicated that the B is played on the open string, but it doesn't have to be. Again, you're talking about the different position here. You can bring it to the 4th fret. 1st fret, 4th fret, G sharp, B. I recommend use your pinky. It's a 4-fret stretch. Many rockers use the 3rd finger for a 4th fret stretch. You can do that if you already, if you can already do it with your pinky. Do not neglect the pinky, and do not use the 3rd finger because it's easier. What we're doing here is getting used to the finger orientation for the minor third. So if we move it up another fret, what notes do we get? G sharp B becomes A, C, A, C. Played 2 different ways. On this G string, the A to the C on the B string will give you a diagonal for the minor third. But now we're going to go to lower notes and watch. It's not the diagonal as much anymore. It's more like a reverse power chord. A, C, minor third. So you can get a whole bunch of minor thirds now in this configuration. Take them up the frets. Get the feel of a minor third. Get the sound of a minor third. And as I said, it looks like a reverse of a power chord. And you can produce this wherever your low note is, such here as the A, ABC. The next is going to be a third. Using this configuration, the next fret down would produce notes G sharp and B. There's G sharp and B written. And so now I'm going to ask you to play this exercise. Go back to the A, C, 2nd fret and 1st fret. Now bring it up to the 4th fret. And then one more fret to to C and E flat, and then B and D, 4 and 3, 4th and 3rd frets, 2nd and 1st fret, 4th and 3rd fret, 5th and 4th fret, now play them together. That's a good exercise if you read along with it. Very slowly. Look at that. You're reading music. You're reading minor thirds. And we'll get into more patterns like this towards the end, and you'll be more comfortable reading. Well, for now, we're going to jump into another interval after this. Thanks for watching. This is Gene Petty.